The moment Rachel stepped into Crestview Elementary, she felt the familiar rhythm of the school day humming around her. Kids laughing, trays clattering, the chatter of lunchtime filling the air. But her focus was on Bishop, her K-9 partner. Bishop wasn't like other dogs. He didn't just follow orders, he thought, he sensed. His amber eyes scanned the hall with a calm intensity that made Rachel trust him completely. "Ready, boy?" Rachel whispered, patting his sleek black coat. Bishop gave a subtle wag of his tail, then sat at attention. He was 6 years old now, with years of training behind him. Not the fastest dog on the block, but the most careful. That's what made him special. He didn't just react, he processed. As they made their way through the hallways, Rachel kept an eye on the kids. It was just another normal day. The smell of spaghetti and garlic bread drifted from the cafeteria, mixed with the sounds of squeaky sneakers and excited voices. Bishop moved with her, calm but alert, like a shadow that never left her side. But then something changed. Bishop stopped in his tracks just outside the cafeteria entrance, his body tensed, ears twitching forward. Rachel felt it too, a shift in the air. Bishop's nose lifted, sniffing the air like he'd caught a secret no one else could smell. He stared at one spot, an empty lunch table near the corner. Rachel followed his gaze and saw her, a small girl sitting alone, clutching a bright pink lunchbox. The girl's hands were tight around it, her eyes darting nervously around the room. Rachel noticed how still Bishop had become, like a statue frozen in time. She whispered, "What do you see, boy?" No bark came, just that intense stare. Bishop refused to move. Rachel's heart quickened. This wasn't normal. Bishop didn't stop for nothing. She stepped closer, scanning the girl. "Hey there, what's your name?" she asked gently. The girl looked up, startled. "Emily," she said quietly. Rachel smiled softly. "That's a pretty lunchbox you've got. Mind if I take a look?" Emily hesitated, then shook her head no, pulling the box tighter. Bishop growled low and steady, a sound Rachel had only heard a few times in 3 years. Not angry, serious. Rachel knelt beside Emily, keeping her voice calm. "Bishop's just curious. Sometimes he smells things others don't." Emily swallowed hard but didn't answer. Rachel knew then that this pink lunchbox wasn't just holding food. It was holding a secret, and Bishop had just found it. Rachel couldn't stop thinking about Emily and that pink lunchbox. Something wasn't right. Bishop's sudden alert had shaken the calm of their usual patrol. The way the girl held that lunchbox, like it was the most important thing in the world, made Rachel uneasy. She watched from a distance during recess. Emily sat alone at a corner table, her small hands gripping the metal box tightly. No one came near her. The other kids laughed and played, but Emily seemed trapped in her own quiet world. Rachel approached slowly. "Hey, Emily, how's your day going?" she asked softly. Emily looked up, eyes wide but guarded. "It's okay," she whispered, pulling the lunchbox closer. Rachel knelt beside her. "You seem pretty attached to that lunchbox. Mind telling me why?" Emily hesitated, biting her lip. "It's special," she said finally. "My dad said I have to keep it safe." Rachel's heart sank. "Your dad said that? Is he around today?" Emily shook her head. "He's gone. Uncle Mike said to watch the lunchbox. It's a secret." Rachel frowned. "Uncle Mike? Is he family?" Emily's voice dropped. "Not really. Dad's friend. He said it's important. But I don't understand." Bishop sat quietly nearby, eyes never leaving Emily. His nose twitched, picking up something Rachel couldn't see. She placed a gentle hand on Emily's shoulder. "You're safe here, okay? Bishop and I will help you." Emily nodded but didn't smile. Rachel noticed the fear lurking behind those young eyes. Later, Rachel checked the school security footage. The early morning showed a man entering through a side door, wearing a maintenance badge, but moving with unusual caution. He stopped at Emily's cubby, placed something inside her lunchbox, and left without a word. Rachel's stomach tightened. Who was this man, and what had he slipped into that pink lunchbox? She called the school secretary. "Did anyone see a visitor this morning? Someone who didn't belong?" Beverly hesitated. There was a man, but he left quickly. Said he was Uncle Mike. Rachel's mind raced. Something was very wrong. A secret, hidden in plain sight, carried by a scared little girl. Bishop's steady presence grounded her. The dog's instincts had never failed before. Rachel whispered, "We're going to figure this out, Bishop, for Emily." And somewhere deep inside, she knew this pink lunchbox mystery was only the beginning. Rachel knew Bishop's instincts rarely failed. So when he fixated on Emily's pink lunchbox, her heart sank. Bishop's body was tense, his amber eyes locked on that small metal box like it held a secret no one else could see. Rachel watched Emily, her grip tightening around it as if afraid to let go. "Hey, Emily," Rachel said softly, kneeling beside her. "You're holding on to that lunchbox pretty tight. Is something inside that you don't want anyone to see?" Emily glanced up, eyes wide and scared. It's nothing. Just lunch," she whispered, but her voice cracked. Rachel exchanged a look with Bishop, who let out a low, warning growl. It wasn't angry, but serious. Rachel's gut told her this wasn't just about food. "Emily, sometimes Bishop can smell things people can't," Rachel said gently. "If there's something in there, it's okay to tell me." The girl's eyes darted around and she whispered, "I'm not supposed to tell. Uncle Mike said it's a secret. If I say anything, he'll get mad." Rachel felt a chill. "Who's Uncle Mike? Is he someone you trust?" Emily shook her head. "Not really. Dad's friend, but I don't know if he's nice." Bishop moved closer, resting his head gently on Emily's knee. The connection between dog and girl was quiet but powerful. Rachel saw hope in that moment, a lifeline forming. Later, Rachel walked down the hall replaying what she had just heard. She pulled out her phone and reviewed the security footage from earlier that morning. The man, Uncle Mike, had entered the school through a side door. He moved carefully, almost like he didn't belong. When he stopped at Emily's cubby, he placed something inside the pink lunchbox. Rachel's breath caught. "What did you put in there?" she muttered. Bishop sat at her side, eyes sharp as ever, as if urging her to dig deeper. That afternoon, Rachel spoke quietly with the school principal. "We need to keep an eye on Emily. Something feels off." The principal nodded. "She's been quiet lately, not like herself." Rachel's mind raced. A child carrying a secret no one else could see, a dog refusing to look away, and a strange man slipping into their school. She found herself whispering to Bishop, "What are we protecting, boy? What's hiding inside that lunchbox?" Bishop looked up at her, steady and sure. In that moment, Rachel knew they were about to uncover something much bigger than a simple school mystery. And it was up to them to keep Emily safe. Rachel sat in the patrol office, eyes glued to the screen as she rewound the morning's footage again and again. The quiet hum of the school faded behind her focus. There, in the early hours before anyone else arrived, a man slipped in through a side door. He moved slowly, deliberately, scanning the empty hall like a shadow trying not to be seen. Her stomach twisted as the man reached Emily's cubby. Without hesitation, he opened it and carefully placed something inside her pink lunchbox. Then, just as quickly he left, walking away as if nothing unusual had happened. Rachel's hands trembled slightly as she paused the video. "Who are you?" she whispered, staring at the screen. The man wore a maintenance badge that said M. Ellis, but something about him didn't fit. She checked the school's personnel list and found no one named Ellis on the approved staff or substitute rosters. Her heart raced with suspicion. This wasn't just a simple visitor, it was someone hiding in plain sight. "Bishop," Rachel called softly, and the dog padded over, his nose twitching as he sniffed the air near her desk. He looked up at her, eyes full of quiet warning. Rachel leaned closer to him. This guy wasn't supposed to be here, and whatever he put in Emily's lunchbox, it's not good. She stood and paced the room, thoughts swirling. The school had always felt safe, a place where kids could laugh without fear. But now, that safety felt fragile, like a thin glass ready to shatter. She thought about Emily again, the way the little girl had clutched that lunchbox so tightly, the fear in her eyes when she mentioned Uncle Mike. Rachel's mind linked that name to the man on the footage. "Someone's using Emily," Rachel said, voice low but firm. "And it's not just a game." The school secretary, Beverly, appeared in the doorway. "Officer Ford, I heard you're asking about a visitor this morning." Rachel nodded. "Did anyone see a man claiming to be Uncle Mike or anyone suspicious around Emily?" Beverly's face tightened. "There was a man. He said he had to speak with Emily, but he left quickly before I could get his details. It felt off." Rachel swallowed hard. "We need to keep Emily safe. She might not even realize what's happening." Beverly gave a sad nod. "Kids like her don't deserve this." Rachel looked down at Bishop, who gave a soft woof as if understanding every word. The dog's steady presence was the only comfort in a school suddenly shadowed by secrets. Rachel made a promise to herself. "We'll find out the truth, Bishop, no matter what it takes." The quiet halls of Crestview Elementary now held a new tension, a darkness hiding behind the bright walls, and Bishop's watchful eyes wouldn't let it go unnoticed. The quiet of Crestview Elementary shattered when the FBI arrived. Rachel watched as agents filled the principal's office, their faces serious, eyes sharp. What started as a simple school patrol was now tangled in something far darker. Agent Mara Singh introduced herself calmly but with urgency. "Officer Ford, we need to talk about Emily Barnes and her father." Rachel's stomach tightened. "What about them?" Singh opened a laptop showing a photo of a man, Emily's father, Jonathan Barnes. "He's been missing for 3 days. His employer reported unusual activity on his accounts." Rachel frowned. "Missing? Is this related to the lunchbox?" "That's what we're trying to figure out," Singh said. "Jonathan works in cybersecurity for defense contractors. He had access to classified information." Rachel felt the weight of those words. A 10-year-old girl carrying a lunchbox that might hold secrets powerful enough to shake the country. "We believe Emily's been used without her knowledge," Singh continued. "Someone is using her lunchbox to move sensitive data." Rachel looked down at Bishop, who sat quietly by her side. His amber eyes seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. Emily's small voice broke through the tension. "Uncle Mike said Daddy had to go away for work. He left something special for me to keep safe." Rachel knelt beside Emily, trying to offer comfort. "Emily, you're very brave. We're here to keep you safe." Agent Singh nodded. "We need to see what's inside that lunchbox." Emily's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside, along with her sandwich and apple slices, was a small silver USB drive wrapped in black tape. Rachel's breath caught. "That's no ordinary lunchbox." Singh carefully picked up the device. "This could compromise national security." The school quickly went into soft lockdown. Teachers told kids it was a drill, but Rachel saw the fear hidden beneath the calm. She looked at Emily, clutching her lunchbox tighter than ever. The innocent girl caught in a dangerous game she didn't understand. Bishop rested his head on Emily's lap, offering silent protection. Rachel whispered, "We'll get through this, Emily, you're not alone." The world outside felt colder now. But inside that school, a dog's loyalty and a woman's courage were the only shield standing between a frightened child and the unseen danger threatening her. Emily sat quietly in the nurse's office. Bishop, lying close by, his warm presence a small comfort in the tense room. Rachel watched the girl carefully. She seemed so small, just 10 years old. But the fear in her eyes spoke of a heavy burden no child should carry. "Emily," Rachel began softly, "can you tell me more about this Uncle Mike?" The girl swallowed hard, clutching her pink lunchbox like it was her last safe place. "He came to our house 3 nights ago," she whispered. "He said Daddy had to go away for work, but he left something for me. Something important." Rachel nodded, encouraging her to keep going. Emily's voice trembled. He told me to keep it safe, not to tell anyone. Said it was a secret game between me and Daddy. Rachel felt a lump in her throat. Do you know what it is? The girl shook her head. No, but Uncle Mike said if I told anyone he'd be angry. I'm scared. Bishop lifted his head, eyes filled with quiet understanding. He seemed to sense her pain, offering a silent promise to protect her. Rachel reached out, taking Emily's small hand gently. You're safe here. We'll make sure nothing bad happens to you. Tears welled in Emily's eyes. I don't want to be scared anymore, she said, voice breaking. Rachel pulled her into a comforting hug. You're very brave. We'll figure this out together. Later, Rachel reviewed the evidence again. The USB drive hidden in the lunchbox, the strange man in the security footage. It was clear Emily had been used without knowing. She didn't choose this, Rachel said aloud, her voice heavy. She's just a kid caught in something too big. Bishop rested his head on Rachel's knee, his eyes steady and loyal. In that moment, Rachel knew the dog's instincts had been right from the start. Emily's secret burden was more than just a lunchbox. It was a weight that threatened to crush her innocent childhood. But with Bishop watching over her and Rachel by her side, there was hope. Hope that the darkness could be stopped before it took more than just secrets. Hang in there, Emily, Rachel whispered. We're not giving up on you. Rachel knelt beside Emily as Bishop sat quietly, nose twitching with focus. The dog's instincts were sharp, and Rachel trusted them more than anything. Bishop's trained nose wasn't just a tool, it was a lifeline in moments like this. She watched as Bishop gently sniffed around the lunchbox, then fixed his gaze on the small silver USB drive wrapped in black tape. Rachel felt a shiver run down her spine. This wasn't just a piece of tech. It was a key to something dangerous. Agent Singh leaned in, her face serious. This drive could expose everything. The scale of this operation is bigger than we thought. Rachel nodded slowly. Bishop found it for a reason. He always knows when something's wrong. The team gathered, examining the data with care. Files revealed profiles of defense contractors, detailed schedules, and even surveillance of families with security clearances. Children like Emily were being used without knowing it, carrying secrets in their lunchboxes, walking targets in a silent war. Rachel's voice softened as she looked at Emily. You've been carrying something no kid should ever have to. Emily's eyes filled with tears. I just wanted to help Daddy. Bishop rested his head gently on Rachel's knee, offering comfort to both the girl and the adults around her. His loyalty and calm were the anchor in a sea of fear. Agent Rhodes added, They're using families like weapons, hiding information where no one would think to look. Rachel swallowed hard. And Bishop's nose brought us here. Without him, we might never have known. The room grew quiet except for the soft hum of computers and the occasional woof from Bishop. Rachel felt the weight of the moment. A dog's instincts had uncovered a threat no one else saw. Turning to the agents, she said, We have to stop this before more kids get caught in it. Singh nodded firmly. This is just the beginning. Rachel looked down at Bishop. Good boy, partner. You protected her when no one else could. Bishop's amber eyes met hers, calm and sure. In that glance, Rachel knew their fight wasn't over. But together, they stood a chance. Sometimes trusting a dog's instincts was the difference between danger and safety, and in this case it saved a little girl's life. The school went into lockdown. Hallways emptied, doors locked tight, and the usual laughter was replaced by tense silence. Rachel stood near Bishop, her heart pounding as the weight of the situation pressed down on them all. This isn't just a school problem anymore, she told Bishop quietly. It's bigger than any of us thought. Agents moved quickly, tracing leads, checking phone records, and coordinating with other agencies. Every second felt like a battle against an invisible clock. Rachel's radio crackled. All units, keep eyes sharp. Suspicious vehicle spotted near school perimeter. She glanced out the window and saw an unmarked sedan circling slowly. Someone was watching, waiting. The danger was close. Agent Singh's voice broke the silence. They know we're here. They're trying to stop us. Rachel's gaze fell on Emily, sitting quietly with Bishop close beside her. The little girl looked fragile but brave, holding on to the hope that adults around her wouldn't let her down. "Emily," Rachel said gently, kneeling beside her, "we're going to find your dad. We're going to keep you safe." Emily's eyes shimmered with tears. "I want Daddy home." Bishop nudged Emily's hand with his nose, offering comfort in a way words never could. Outside, law enforcement closed in on a warehouse on the edge of town. It was a dark place filled with computers and monitors, the heart of the operation using children like Emily. Rachel watched as the team prepared to move in. "This is it," she whispered. "We have to stop them now." The raid was swift but tense. Shouts filled the air. They found Jonathan Barnes, Emily's father, alive but scared, trapped inside the grim facility. When Jonathan saw Emily on a video call, his voice cracked. "I'm coming home, sweetheart. Hold on." Back at the school, Rachel felt a flicker of hope in the heavy air. She looked at Bishop, who sat calmly, eyes bright and steady. "We're almost there, boy." Almost. The race against time wasn't over, but with Bishop's watchful eyes and the team's determination, there was a chance to end this nightmare. For Emily, for her father, and for every child unknowingly caught in this dangerous game. The warehouse was cold and dark when they found Jonathan Barnes. He looked tired, scared, but alive. Rachel felt a rush of relief mixed with anger. How could someone do this to a man just doing his job? "Dad!" Emily's voice trembled over the video screen as Jonathan's face appeared. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Jonathan's voice cracked. "Emily, I'm okay. I'm coming home." Rachel watched Bishop sit quietly beside Emily, resting his head gently on her lap. The dog's calmness was a steady comfort amid the chaos. Agent Singh stood nearby, her expression serious. "We've uncovered a network using children like Emily. Innocent kids forced to carry secrets they don't understand." Rachel nodded. This wasn't just about stolen data. It was about breaking families apart. Emily looked up at Bishop. "Thank you, boy," she whispered. Bishop's amber eyes met hers, full of gentle strength. Rachel pulled Emily close. "You're safe now. We're going to make sure no one hurts you again." The team began gathering evidence exposing the cruel operation. Computers, files, and secret plans spilled into the light. The network's reach was massive. Families targeted, children used as pawns. But in the quiet corner of the chaos, Emily and Bishop shared a moment of peace. The dog's steady presence helped her breathe again. Rachel smiled softly. Sometimes, the smallest heroes make the biggest difference. Emily hugged Bishop tightly. "You saved me." Bishop wagged his tail slowly, as if saying, "I'm always here." Justice was closing in on the criminals. The nightmare was ending, but the healing was just beginning. Rachel looked at Bishop with gratitude. "Good boy, partner. You never gave up." And as Emily whispered a thank you to her four-legged hero, the bond between girl and dog grew stronger, a bond that would help them face whatever came next. The halls of Crestview Elementary slowly returned to their usual buzz of laughter and chatter. Life was finding its rhythm again, but something had changed. The school felt safer now, and Rachel knew it was because of Bishop. Bishop walked the halls as usual, calm but alert. His amber eyes scanned every corner, every room. He wasn't just a dog, he was a guardian. A silent protector watching over the children who had no idea how close danger had been. Rachel stood beside him one afternoon, watching the kids play. "You did good, boy," she said softly, scratching behind his ears. Bishop wagged his tail once, then settled down at her feet. Emily, now smiling more, handed Rachel a drawing. "This is Bishop," she said proudly. The picture showed the dog wearing a superhero cape standing tall over a group of happy children. Rachel looked at the drawing, her heart swelling. "You captured him perfectly," she told Emily. He's our hero. Emily nodded. He saved me. He protected me. Bishop looked up as if he understood every word. His eyes were full of quiet strength and love, the kind only a true friend could give. Rachel thought about the long journey they'd been through, the fear, the secrets, the danger. But it was Bishop's instincts, his loyalty, that had uncovered the truth and kept Emily safe. Sometimes, Rachel said, the best heroes don't wear badges. They have 4 paws and a nose that never quits. As the sun set behind the school, Bishop took his place by the front door, watching and waiting. Forever vigilant. And in that moment, Rachel knew one thing for sure. No matter what came next, with Bishop by their side, they would face it together. Because love and trust, wrapped in a dog's steady watch, had saved the day. And that quiet vigil would never end.